Well, a hard-headed woman, a soft-hearted man, been the cause of trouble ever since the world began. Oh yeah, ever since the world began. A hard-headed woman, been a thorn in the side of man. Adam told Eve, listen here to me. Don't you let me catch you messing around that apple tree. Oh yeah, ever since the world began.
There has been a lot written about Elvis Presley, so I'm just going to give you the absolute highlights. He was a singer, a guitarist, and a cultural icon. He came from Memphis, Tennessee. He was known for being a key figure in the rock and roll explosion in the 50s, which in retrospect people are tending to call rockabilly these days, which is a term for kind of a cross between the rock and roll that was coming through the black music and country music. In the 1950s, he broke through. He had success with his rock and roll records. From 1958 to 1960, he did military service. When he came back from military service, he was mobbed by fans. In the 60s, he mostly did films. His career at that point was being controlled by his manager, who was nicknamed the Colonel, who had a very tight control over what was going on. In 1968, after a long break from playing live, he had a comeback special on the TV and started doing live gigs again. He had a very famous residency in Las Vegas, and then he suddenly died in 1977. He is the best-selling solo music artist of all time worldwide. Hi, my name's Dan. So this is an album of songs from the movie of the same name that was starring Elvis. And it's my first encounter with this album. Of course I've heard Elvis before and Elvis songs, but I didn't recognise any of the songs off this album. So it was new to me in that sense. Most of it is classic rock and roll stuff. And I have to say, he does it very well. I guess there's a reason why he's been so popular. His delivery for the rock and roll numbers is excellent. It's got a real character to it. There's a couple of slower ballads which I'm less of a fan of. There's As Long As I Have You and Steadfast, Loyal and True, which is a song about the school that he fictitiously in the film presumably went to. A few of the tracks are more of a blending of jazz and rock and roll, particularly because there's a New Orleans focus here. So it brings in some of those New Orleans jazz elements with it. And I'm enjoying that as well. That's good. So, yeah, I haven't got a lot to say about this as an album, but I had fun listening to it. I don't think it's an earth-shatteringly deep and meaningful album. I don't think that's what they were aiming for. I think it's entertaining, and it does a reasonably good job of that. So that's what I think. I'd love to know what you think, though, so please let me know through the comments box. And that's it from me for now.
You'll never know
What heaven means.
what heaven means until you've been down to New Orleans.
New Orleans.
You ain't been living till you cuddle and cool. Oh, with the black-eyed baby by the old bayou.
You've never